Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Jacqueline here with our September edition of Wisdom Entrepreneurs. And in this episode, Omar and Derrick talk about time travel. Ooh, is it real? We'd love to hear about your time travel experiences in the comments below. Wisdom Entrepreneurs is a free monthly webinar which we'd love to see you at. So sign up in the Eventbrite link and let's see you at one soon. Let's get into it.
Hello, good evening. Welcome everybody to Wisdom Entrepreneurs on Monday, the 20th of September, the September edition. And yeah, it's hosted by me, Derek Mason, and my colleague Omar Wilson, who most of us already know. But yeah, that's Omar, by the way. This evening we was going to talk about time travel. We're going to talk about a little insight Omar had into time travel. But before that, I'm just going to get everyone into the feel of the mode that I'm in tonight or this evening. I don't know who on the call knows, but we had a big day today. We went to Northampton, met the mayor of Northampton and the Lord Lieutenant Provost, and they gave an award to a company that we was doing some work with. So, and just to see, probably for the first time in my life, I turned up at an event like that and I felt like I belonged. I didn't have that imposter syndrome. There was other thinking going on, but that actual imposter syndrome and what am I doing there and should I be here, that didn't exist for me. And that's the first time I sort of felt that in that environment. And I've just been floating ever since. When you're talking to the mayor and she's saying, I need to get out there and I need to do this and I'm a brilliant beacon and me and Omar are this and this is what we should be. It's just such a, I can't say the word, a thing to say, point to where I am right now from where I was. And that just fills me with so much joy to know that I can actually give back from a place where I didn't think I was even able to. So to know I have that strength and to see that strength reflected, just got me in a good space. And I know it's going to be a good webinar tonight. So that's just a little bit on where I am. Like I said, tonight we're going to talk about a little insight Omar's had on a thing he likes to title time travel. And I think a lot of us do it, but we don't know that we actually do it because time travel is perceived as something where we physically move from one time zone to another. But a lot of the time, our headspaces don't work with those rules. Our headspaces can come and go, past, future, present. And it's just noticing that. I think that's what Omar's going to allude to now. So Omar, take it away, sir.
Thank you, my friend. First of all, I'm feeling the same way you're feeling. Meeting those people today and just being in Nottingham and Nottinghamshire and Northamptonshire, sorry, innit? Northampton, yeah, not Nottingham. Yeah. The ends, innit? Dyslexia and stuff, you know. But yeah, being there with those people, I didn't feel no type of way. I just felt love and connection, and it was just beautiful. Because I know before I would have just felt like I had to fit in the room. But yeah, it was just perfect. But now to my time travel theory. Does anybody here believe in time travel? No. I like that. So one day, because I don't know what day it was or what I was even doing, but the thought just hit me. And I watch a lot of movies and I love movies, man. I love a lot of movies. And I love time travel in movies, right? And I was just thinking about the time travel and it hit me different that, wow, we do that every day. We time travel every day. And I'm not talking about the big black hole and you just get sucked in and you're in another universe. I'm not talking about that type of time travel. But I'm talking about mental time travel. And I'm a very visual person. When you tell me something, I love to visualize it, or the first visual that comes to my head, and it kind of just, it makes it easier for me to understand it when I visualize certain things. So with time travel, I visualized that, wow, when we're present, we have nothing. We have no thoughts. We're just present and absorbing and loving. And I was thinking, imagine being present as you in your mind, and you're present, you're in the middle, and you have nothing in your hands because you're just present. And somebody asks you a question about your past. From you in the middle with nothing in your hands because you're present, we shoot off back to the past in our minds. And you collect all the information you think is relevant, and you bring it back to the present. And we use it. And this is what we do day in, and we do it so well that we miss the trick. We miss the fact that we went back in the past to get this information to use now. And I see it with anger, because I had a little situation yesterday where I got very angry. And I realized this because, when I realized it, it's like I was humble in an instant, because I realized when the situation happened and I felt some injustice, straight away I ran off to the past. And I grabbed up everything. I grabbed up all my ego. I grabbed up what I used to do, who I used to be, and I grabbed it and I brought it all to the present because I thought it was relevant. And when I really saw that I did that journey, because at that present moment, I had nothing. I didn't have all of that. And the only place that existed was in my past. And because I thought it was relevant now, I ran back and I grabbed it. And I realized we do the same with the future. So it's like an event. I remember I've been to an event before and it was rubbish. And the next time I'm gonna go, I'm already thinking, oh, that event's going to be rubbish. Because I've ran back to that past event, grabbed that, brought that to the present and projected it onto the future. Now this is my mindset. That is going to be rubbish today. When I haven't been to it, I haven't even seen it today. But with that information, I now think that it's going to be rubbish, so I don't go. And it's still fresh for me, so ask any questions or chip in at any time, but I just see when I'm present, I'm in the middle. I'm not dipping in the past for information, or I'm not dipping in the future for it. I'm literally present. And it's weird to me, because even with good things and smells, I could smell a smell and instantly I'll run off to the pot. I'll just run off back to where that smell was, where I was, how I was feeling. And I bring that back to the present, and like washes over me like, wow, I was there, I was doing that. And I get the same with music. I would hear a music and I would rush off to where I was when I first heard that music, or where something significant of where this tune was significant to me. And I would feel all the emotions of it. And I remember like, oh, that's where I was. And I realized that it doesn't exist. It only exists in the past, but we have to go and get it. We have to go and get it. We have to search for it. Like, I remember, have you ever tried to remember something and it's on the tip of your tongue? And you're like, no. And literally, you see that right there? You're running through the past. Where is it? That far, this far? Is it there? No. There. And you're running. And then it comes to you because you find it. Bring it to the present. Here you go. And you find it. And like for me, that, I'm not sure if I'm articulating it well, but when I saw that, I thought it's just amazing how we work as humans. how we fish in the past for what we think is relevant now. And we do this every day. When I say like driving a car, you wake up, and when you wake up, you don't think about driving the car and do it. But as soon as you get in that car, you've already fished for all that information to drive the car. So we drive it. And to mini stuff, even a bottle of water, we do it so fast, because when I look, I know it's a bottle of water. But so fast, we look at it, colors and clothing and hair, and we know what they are in an instant, because that is how amazing our brains work in milliseconds. Everybody knows I'm wearing a dressing gown, and you don't have to think about it too hard. You just look, flash past me, and you know I'm wearing a dressing gown. Because somewhere in your life, you learned what a dressing gown was. Now you have to fish for that information. That's a dressing gown. And I realized with information I don't know, I don't know it, I haven't stored it. So therefore I have to find it. Then I have to store it. And yeah, it's just amazing to me, because I'm still discovering it. And I just think, even with the small things down to the big things, like my ADHD and my dyslexia, I was told that at one stage in my life, only one stage, they said, you have this. And I chose to keep bringing that to the present for a long time. Every time it will come to reading, and I'll be like, 1 second, I've got something. And I'll run back and I'll get my ADHD and my dyslexia, and I'll show you, this is the reason I can't do these things. And I would always run back and get them. Until one day, I ran back and I got them. And I was like, do you know what? I don't need them. And within that space, I taught myself to read and write. But I realized that now I no longer go back and grab that. I no longer fish for that in the past, because I see there's no relevance. But with a lot of other things, I still fish in, like my fear of spiders. What can I do about that? Do you know what I mean? And I know, and this is the best bit, I know that when it comes to a spider, I'll run straight back for the fear and the everything. And my little theory of fear is just, we use the known to create the unknown. And that's my formula for fear. And I feel like that's the only way fear is ever generated, by using what we know to create what we don't know. And I do that with spiders very well. I look at a spider and I say, do you know what? I've seen movies, 8-legged freaks, big ones, and they bite people, poisonous, this one, that. And that all just does something to me, and it equals that fear of the spider, because I'm using what I know to create what I don't know. And that scares me. But I see how straight away, as I see that spider, I'll grab that fear. Straight away, I'll run and grab it. And the same thing with like what Derrick was saying in the room today, I saw the opportunity where I could have ran back and grabbed that fear, because I'm in a new place, I don't know these people, I want to be liked, but I just missed that journey. I just didn't go there. I stayed present. And while I was present, I literally felt, when I say emptiness, I don't mean emptiness, but I felt like my mind was clear. There was no weight on it. It was just like, wow. And I was just able to move and flex around and just talk and be me and just laugh, and hugging up the mayor, like, yo, come on, yo, take a picture, and smiling with everybody. And I realized that's because I didn't go on that journey to fish in the past for what I do know, to use it now in a situation that I don't know. I just stayed present with that empty mind. But yeah, I love conversations, guys. So I want to open up to everybody as well, including yourself, Derrick. And so if anybody's got anything to add or ask.
I just want to add quickly that when I said earlier that I felt like I belonged there and I didn't have that imposter syndrome, but I had other thinking going on. Because we never get there at the stipulated time, we got there a little bit late. I had that thinking in my head, and I was trying to play the over official and the over. And I only realized it when the pictures came out, and I'm standing there like being stiff, thinking, right, I've got to be stiff, I've got to be official. And I remember when the Lord Lieutenant, he wears one of them posh suits with like this naval suit, it's got the lapels on it and gold everywhere. When I was talking to him, I looked at the shoulders and I said, you know what? My thinking got in the way. I'm not putting my arm around him. It's an official stand-up. And I stood up next to him, took a stiff picture smiling. Omar said, let me get one. As soon as Omar went in, Omar obviously had no thinking about the situation whatsoever. He just dived in, hands all over him, big smile. And the mayor must have said something like, oh, I don't know how to be young. And he just, but oh, wait, Omar done it. It was beautiful with just no thinking, just being present. And I sort of saw that, but the whole day was just beautiful. Just an example of what you were saying, as not running where I would usually run to in the past to fish for something that I think I need. I think it's just knowing when you're in the present, just being empowered enough to know everything you need is here in the present. And physically, mentally, everything you need is here. And we tell ourselves, and I realize what you said, Omar, we do it on little things. So little things that may be relevant, we do it. So when we slips into our lives with things what we don't, we sort of label ourselves as that person because that's what we do in that situation. Because like today, usually I would have run straight from my past behavior. Right, this is what I do in this situation. I stand in the corner, I wait for somebody to get the eye contact, talk to them, and don't leave that one person because I don't want to say something silly to every, just thinking that's going on in my head. But when I was present, I was looking for it and I couldn't see it. And that's what sort of shocked me. It's usually there in a package. I think, ready, pick me. But when I looked, it just wasn't there. And when I saw what was there, it was just me. And I felt like I'd picked up the package and it was me. I was good enough and I belonged there. And I've never spoken to a mayor before in my life. But I really had to think one point in my head, am I talking too much? Should I just shut up? And she, at the end of it, said, oh, do you know what? What you do is amazing. And that just made the whole of the thinking, that's made me get more present. I start looking, not looking for people to talk to, but being around like, yeah, who else wants to know about me? Who else wants to know what we're doing there? And what we can do together and what you do. And I slowly went around and spoke to everybody in the room. And I would never do that before, never. And there weren't no process of, it just happened. It just happened and it was a beautiful thing. And it was me not looking in the past or not looking to the future, what they're going to say, oh, I'm going to say that silly thing, so then they're just going to say none of that. Open my mouth and just be present. And it helped because that's what I was telling them, because obviously I'm telling them about my story. So it's the same thing I'm experiencing being present. It's like the same thing I'm explaining to them is what got me out of the life that I used to be in. And that just, yeah, it was just a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day today. Kelly's got her hand raised. You want to say something, Kelly?
Yeah, I traveled in time and now I don't have anything to say because I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. No, congratulations. First, congratulations, because that's a big deal. And the deal is not just on the idea that happened. That's a huge deal. But what you're talking about, I think, is really cool because I can tell you that I've been in many rooms where I was not good enough. I was in the corner. I was pretending that I didn't know anything, even though they were there for what I knew. and I would get scared and fearful because one of my cherished beliefs was that I was stupid. And so, of course, who would want to come to me, even though they're there for what I'm offering or what the organization I was working for was offering as part of the facilitation. But I remember sitting there as people were talking about who they are. And I would get smaller and smaller and travel out of myself, literally travel out of myself and sit somewhere over here and live from that place of, distant and removed and dissociated and not really clear. So I love this conversation. And I got to tell you something else. This is so timely. So first off, I booked this because I knew I had Mondays open. So that was like rock star moment. And then, because I feel, and I want to say to everybody, I feel like in my room, sometimes I'm taking on the persona of host and I don't know who I am. And I'm standing over there. And then here I am in this room going, oh shit, yeah, I can put my hand up in this room. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I am so chill with that. And it's like, what is that thinking? That's just thinking too. There's just different variants. And I feel really comfortable here. And so that's, commending you guys for creating that environment. But yesterday, I was babysitting my brother's kids. And both of them, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to have auntie moments. It's going to be really great. And both of them go off to their rooms. And I'm thinking, okay, it's not auntie moments. And they get on their iPads. And I had no thinking about that. They know what they need to do. So I turned on a show called Looper. Now, Looper is all about time travel. Now, this is why it's so crazy, right? And so I'm watching this show and it's got some real weird moments in it. But anyway, here we come to today and you guys are talking about time travel. So I thought that's weird. I just saw a whole TV show on that. But I wanted to say one thing that's kind of pertinent. I had 2 out of the body moments where I literally was at a place in a moment where there was no thinking. And I was in a class and I was watching and participating. And within seconds of changing the screen and opening up, I saw someone. And it was, and I fell into a fear and I grabbed everything I knew from the past. And I felt like I was floating up here somewhere. And I was in my head and all this scared feeling came in. And I was like, wait a minute. What is going on right now? Like I saw it. It took about, 4 minutes, but I was up here just launching around in some weird moment. And I just pulled myself down and I took my feet and I put them down. I was sitting right here like this, put my feet on the ground. And I was like, Kelly, like you've got this. Like you are good. That is the past going on. And this is the moment you're in and you're in a facilitation. You're okay. I'm looking around like I'm good, right? Because I felt so unsafe in my head. Physically and environmentally, I was perfectly safe, but in my head, I felt so unsafe around this experience. That was one of them. And the second one was, I'm packing over to come to your world on Tuesday. And so I'm headed to Denmark. So what do? We pack a bag. So I'm in my, what do I gotta, put in the bag? And I'm literally in my head about it all. What am I supposed to wear? How do I need to look? And now I'm really out of myself because this is all the thinking I've been having in the last week. And today I went to the gym and I realized you just need to be yourself, Kelly. And you're going to be trekking around Denmark, meeting beautiful 3 principles people. And you're going to be in London airports where it's going to be, uncomfortable because there's no places to sleep. And you just need to be in your chill comfortness. And that's it. And so I lost all the thinking of, I was somebody different because of my clothes. But that's time travel in a literal sense. I'm traveling and I'm in this time of thinking and it really is nothing to do with. And I was thinking I needed to be something I'm not. And so I'm going to have my slouch wear and my casual sweatshirts. And this is me coming home from the gym, just saying, and just feeling really better about seeing that the traveling that you're talking about, Omar, you said we use the known. Like what I knew was, fashionista extraordinaire or whatever, you got to have it all going on in the suitcase. And now it's like, yeah, no, because that was attached to something that isn't me, which is image. And I'm learning more and more how to travel in time over to the UK, visiting all you dear folks as Kelly, just simple and plain. What, and I am not my clothes, nor am my job, nor am I'm just myself. So thank you for this conversation and letting me share.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. You know what? It's just opened up that it's just like what you said when you do that time traveling thing, and whatever you bring back just brings you further away from actually yourself, because the real you, which was there all the time, which didn't need to time travel, so now you brought back some accessory to put on top of the real you and just move further away from where you really, the direction you feel you should be going or you should be going. And because I was going to say earlier, and the more you do it, the more you reinforce it, and then you think that that is actually you. So then when you time travel, you don't even realize you're time traveling. You think that that's you're just showing up as me. So all those behaviors that come with that time traveling behaviors weren't me. There was a process that was taking place. I had to go and fish it out, bring it back, put it on, and say, this is me. And like you said, that's just showing up as me. Just sounds like a lot quicker and a better process, and it feels better. So we go
And
through.
a whole lot less wasted thinking time, like it literally what felt like rapid speed, light speed time from all the thinking that I've been in to let drop in moment of insight saying, you're just going to wear what is most comfortable to you. That's it. And not give a shit about what anybody thinks about that. Because it ain't about the clothes.
That's what I like what you said. You've gone from rapid, millions of different thoughts or thousands or hundreds of different, one moment in one thought and everything, not half of it, and then you have to work on the other half. Everything, when you're centered in that present zone, everything falls away. And what you see is the truth. And when you feel that truth, that is what, well, for me, that is why I've bought into it, anything I've seen in that moment, because I can truly see the truth, what is constant with or without my thinking. And my thinking will just get in the way of it. But just to know that I've seen it and it's actually real and it exists and it's in me is beautiful. And I think that's when you speak, I can feel that same moment. Because to truly be, when you have that, and this could have been, for me, it's been things what I've thought years and years and years, and I thought, that's just how I think about a situation. That's just how I deal with a situation. But when you see the clarity of the truth, that is not you. That is not, you've made that up. And what is you is anything you want it to be, really. Anything you want it to be. And that is the beauty of life.
I'll say this one last thing that, the clarity that came when that fell into my insightful place, what I realized is that was somebody else's mantra, standard, family implications, whatever, the way, take your hat off the table, whatever, it was the whole thing just fell right out. And I realized how long I'd been living it. Like, it's like identity became my own right there in that moment. So thank you guys. I'm going to be traveling less and yet more.
I like that. Hey, Christine.
Hi, I was just thinking it's sort of subtly different from what you're talking about, but I think it's related. I had a memory come back to me of something that happened when I was a child, but and I'd made meaning out of that for years and years. And I suddenly had a completely different view of it. And it was totally different and really freeing. But it was, so I had gone back and I had, brought something back, but it was different from how it was when I came across it the first time, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That's funny enough, right? I'll tell you a little story, a little naughty one as well. So when I was young, right, and I told Derrick this today, and it's like, because of my knowledge of the three principles now, I did a lot of time traveling, and I saw certain things like, oh, I saw why that happened now, and I see that, and oh, right, and I saw how that, and I don't know, I loved it because I saw a lot of lessons in my past, and one of them was, I felt there was a guy that wanted to beat up me and my mum when I was a child, and I saw his anger, and he was angry. And I didn't think he had a good reason, right? And then obviously, I was like 4, and me and this girl was under the table and was playing, and I cut her hair. Oh, I cut her hair with scissors. Obviously, I don't know how I had scissors and stuff. That was their problem, but I cut her hair, and her dad was really mad. He was mad. And all my life, I never understood, never understood, why was he so bad? It's only hair, it grows back. Now I got 2 daughters. I'm like, oh, oh, that's why he was mad. Oh, so it's like I time travel back to when I was 4, 5, and I'm like, oh, I see why he was mad now. Do you know what I mean? And there's little things like that where you see it different. That's why I love that you said that, because even with things that you gain in the present, you can go back in the past and look at something and see it different, and see it different again, and see it different again. That's the beauty about it. I feel like that. And there was something Derrick said, which was just, it was amazing, because I can't really remember it too tough, but I think you said something about bringing emotions with you from the past. And yeah, you're already good enough in the present, so you just start stacking them, and you think you need it. And it's crazy, because you said, and it hit me like, wow, obviously, like, it becomes you don't even realize you're time traveling. You don't realize at all. So you're like, okay, that situation, and you've done all this time traveling, but you think, all right, this is how I'm meant to handle it. I'm going to draw flat, I'm going to do this, and this is how I'm meant to do it. And it just brought back for me as well, Derrick, when Derrick always says it, and he's like, things I used to do as a child, and I still kind of do them now, and this kind of relates to what Kelly was saying as well. Like, are they still relevant? And it's only when you kind of look at it presently, like, wait, I've been time traveling, bringing that in every day. Is it even relevant to have in my life? And just look at it like, wow, I don't really need to go and get that. Hey to the guys that just joined. If you guys have any question or want to get involved, just shout out. Don't be shy. This is your room as well. But yeah, that's on my little time traveling topic. I was just kind of saying how I think humans, we time travel every day within our minds. And when we're present, we have nothing. And when I say nothing, that just means a clear mind. So we're able to just navigate with this free spirit. That's what I call it, because I feel floaty and light. And I realized that if something happens, we always kind of, in our minds, travel back to the past to get what we think is relevant for this situation in the present. And the greatest thing is sometimes we think, oh, that worked well, that was brilliant. I'm going to do this again and again. And we just keep doing it. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's horrible, I can't do it. And we do the same with the future, thinking we might go to the past for something we know, and then use that to project the future and say, all right, it was like that last time, I ain't going this time. And it's the same time travel, because we're projecting things that we don't even know. We're just using the little formula but the little formula of fear, where I say we use the known to create the unknown, which equals fear. And it's like, I know dogs, and I'll see a dog walking, and I'll be like, you know what, I know dogs bite. I've seen a dog bite somebody. Now I'm projecting it on that dog. This dog bites. I'm scared now. I cross the road. And I realize how much we do that. And we do it so well and so fluently that we don't realize that we do it. And what alluded me to that as well is a lot of young people I talk to, they talk a lot about reaction. Reaction, that was just my reaction. I didn't even think about it, I just reacted. And that is the power of thought. It's so quick and fluent that we didn't even catch it. Now we put it on reactions and we think there's no thought process, but there's always a thought process. But any questions, guys? Any?
I just wanted to say, bro, I've been time traveling all day today, because this Saturday I'm driving up north. It's like a 4.5 hour drive. And I've made up all these stories in my head already, what the traffic's going to be like, what the weather's going to be like. And I've just convinced myself it's going to be absolute crap, and I really don't want to go. And yet where I'm going is going to be fantastic. But yeah, it's all about just, living in the future.
And if I tell you something as well, Pete, when you said it, not that I could pick that up, but you was like, oh yeah, I didn't not even, oh yeah, would I make the offer now? But you could hear it in your, so every second you're sort of backing up. That's what, just buy into that it's something you wanted to do, you felt in the moment, and it's happening. And with that sort of thinking, it's gonna turn out great anyway. But you mind yourself that thinking on the way.
We do it all the time though,
All
don't
the
we?
time.
We make stories that we're always going to the future and to the past. Yeah, Christ. I spent 25 years living in the past, hence the addiction and everything. Yeah, every day I was reliving something from the past. But the present. Just trying to stay in the present. That's the key. That's where the magic is. So yeah, love this conversation.
I think, when I think Kelly said it, when you get into that proper presence and get that clarity and you see what you feel and it's proper aligned. Cause I think usually what you see and what you feel don't match, because somebody could be saying something and it looks visually nice, but you're not feeling them. So you don't match and you don't. That's why I think when Jacqueline and them came in, there was both of those two things. It's the feeling and what you see matching together. And that is just moments of clarity. Because I see it as what is true for me at that moment. Yeah, and what is true for me is what I see now. It could be anything, absolutely anything. And my thinking side is the limited side. The thinking is where all the limits come in and the boundaries and the barriers. But when you get into that clarity moment, it's like all shackles are off. And if you look back on the little zone you was operating before, it's a little speck you was trying to dance in. And now you're running around this big field and it's like with no restrictions. And it's just not even about staying there, but it's just appreciating that you're there and what you see while you're there. Try to make that feeling stick with you. Because when I've been there and I've seen things, I've followed that feeling. Even when I ain't been on that field and I'm trugging down a wet, miserable road, I sort of remember that feeling. Because it reminds me of when I came out and I was thinking about time traveling, going into the past, what I used to do, future thinking, what people are going to think about me when they see me, because I'm not this person that I used to, and all of it. I couldn't know where I was, fuck the future or the past. It was like, I know I spent very seldom time in the present, but at the same time, the little time I was in the present, it sort of reminded me of that beacon that I felt when I was in group, when I was in the room, when I spoke in the chapel in Onley. It sort of brought me back to that feeling. And it wasn't a feeling it was a feeling that it's basically changed my life and turned my life around and got me speaking to people and going places I never thought I would have been going. And that was just from one feeling of me seeing what potential I could have other than that little speck that I've been trying to dance on my whole life. And not being happy dancing in that speck. Running around this field, running around that field, that's nice. That's a happy feeling. And that's all basically, I sort of knew it, but I didn't know the intelligence behind it. That's basically what I've been looking for all my life, just that happiness. And I thought it was an intellectual happiness, what led on to the spiritual happiness. But I see there is only like an intellectual happiness. The other happiness is just something made up to put on top, but the intellect, yeah, that's how I see that right now.
I like that. I was gonna say, man, because I feel like that's the thing that's so important is awareness, because and another best thing is that it doesn't stop. Awareness doesn't mean things are gonna stop. Awareness just means you know how things are running. Therefore, you can navigate. Because if you don't know how to turn the steering wheel, then you can't navigate. And you're just gonna go straight through all the bushes, the walls, the bricks, everything. And I didn't know that I wanted to do this. I never knew I wanted to speak to people or meet beautiful, lovely people like yourselves, or I never knew this stuff was gonna happen. And it's so weird because if you told me that I don't have to think my way here and I just have to be present, if you told me that before, you're lying to me. No way. I gotta study, I gotta think about it, I gotta make everybody like me, I gotta da 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 da. And I saw that was real life to me. I didn't like, there was no different, that was just real life to me. I had to do those things. I had to think my way through. I thought I was smart because I could finish conversations and someone will say, oh, I was just heading to the, and I'll be like, bus. Oh yeah, bus. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm quick on the thinking. Like, and I always thought that made me smart. I was quick thinking and I'll see things. So I always thought that was the way forward. The more I do this, the more someone's going to see I'm smart, the more I can get into a business or this or create my own business. And the incredible thing is, I just had to go the other way. I just had to let go of the thinking and be present and trust in that presentness. There's trust in it, that it will bring me and do for me whatever I feel is right for us, me and that feeling. And I'm here now. And then the other day I time traveled, right? And I was thinking, wow, the 3 principles, Sid Banks, this stuff is incredible. Then I was thinking, wait, in my lifestyle, I would have never, personally thinking, I would have never come across the 3 principles. From where I'm from, London, East London, Newham, never would have come across the principles. 2, I would have never went on a wellbeing course at all. 3, I didn't even think I needed well-being. I thought I was the wellest being. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think I needed well-being. And 4, what the prices of the courses, to me, it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm seeing 15 grand, I'm seeing 10 grand, I'm seeing 8 grand. We don't have that to put on nothing, especially well-being. Because that well-being, I don't need that. I just need to read this book. And it's like, I consider myself, like, I need to kind of explain to you how lucky. So imagine I flicked up a coin, right? And I'm like, heads or tails. And then it lands on a thin piece of paper sideways. You know that lucky? That's how lucky I feel, right? Because it's like I went prison at the right time in the universe, the same time Mama J came in and we met. And it was the first time I ever went prison and I gained this understanding. Now, I was thinking, why is no one bringing it around here? Why is no one helping the community around here? And why is no one doing the Modelo again? And then I realized again, you have to be the change you want to see. I kind of got that from Derrick. You have to be the change you want to see. That plus seeing the things that went on in my community, it fired me up in a different way. When I say fire, it was just pure love fire, like just love. And I said, I need to do something in my community. I need to do something. What also sparked that as well is I got a friend and he's a good guy, but he doesn't know he has options. And I learned previously that he was looking for options. He rang my friend asking him, can he get washing stuff to wash a car, because he wanted to start a car washing business here. And he was trying to steal that, but he was still selling drugs at the same time. And he stopped hanging with these group of friends because they were bad for him. And they bullied him because of that. So they actually ran in his house and tried to beat him up in his house. And he chased them out of his house, got into an altercation, and they end up having like a knife fight and he killed one of them. Now he's in prison for the rest of his life, basically. And I know that was just one moment of madness, one thought process, one time travel, and just that moment of madness. But I know personally that just to get past that one moment of madness into the next, that madness shrinks. And to get past that into the next moment, the madness shrinks. And over a little while, that madness is gone. You don't really want to do it. You don't feel it no more. But he had no one to get him past that moment of madness, or he didn't even know he could get past that moment of madness. That was real to him, the same way my life was real to me. And it infuriated me, it sparked me. And I spoke to Mama J and Derrick, and they said, "What? We're coming to you." I'm like, "When?" They're like, "Tomorrow." I said, "What?" Oh, wow. I didn't expect it. And they came to me. And we walked around the community, and we spoke to people, and we spoke to a couple things, and we're looking to start something in the community now, because I can't just be the only lucky one. Do you know what I mean? I can't just be the only lucky one. Everybody has to get this work. Everybody. It's for everybody. Everyone's going to get it. So, and I feel like it's so important for them to just be aware of how our thought process works, because then you have more responsibility for yourself to do things, to see these options, to see the thought process, to navigate it, to find your best feeling. But yeah, that's sorry about my rant. But
Bruv, do you know what you just reminded me of? Yeah, explaining your past and everything. It's just how tiring our lives were. It was exhausting being like that.
exactly.
It was proper mentally draining. And now life is, well, it's just simple, isn't it? So what everyone says, you know, once you get that insight, once it clicks, it is simple. So simple.
100%. Do you know what? That's a valid point, you know? That is very valid. My life was so busy, and hence the reason why, and it kind of just dawned on me now, hence the reason why I was the freest in prison I've ever been. Because all that thinking just didn't haunt me. That it just kind of just like, yeah, go away. You can talk, but I'm going to turn you down. Turn the volume all the way down to number 1. And yeah, you can talk on, but I just can't hear you no more. And yeah, that's a very valid point. That ate me like a ton of bricks.
It is though, isn't it? Because I was just reminiscing what my life was like, and just day in, day out, just constant. Oh, and now it's just nothing. It's silence. It's like that expression they say, silence is golden. But it's not until you actually really get it yourself that you appreciate it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's I would have never understood that before. Do you know what I mean? But now I feel like I understand my version of that. Like I feel my version of that. And it does feel good. And the best thing is, even when I'm feeling shitty, or I've had a row or something with missus, or I still get pissed off, but it's just never for that long. It's never for that long. It's like, as soon as I'm pissed off, it's like I put this Fanta on my head and I'm walking around with a Fanta on my head. Then I realize I don't even have to do that. Let me take it off. When all day you would just, oh, you know you got Fanta in your head. I know, man. I know. I want it to be there. When now it's like, it's there for 5 minutes and I'm like, what are you doing there? Go away. Do you know what I mean? And I can't, yeah, and I'm just out of it, you know? And I feel like my missus, she's kind of seen that as well. She's seen that, like, wow, like normally I'll be passive aggressive and make 1 coffee in the morning and you know, I mean, that's the passive aggressive stuff. Just wake up, no kiss, and 1 coffee, and oh, where's my coffee? No, do you know what I mean? But now it's like, we'll have a round, I'm still making 2 coffees and I'm still doing them. Do you know what I mean? I'm all happy, and then we eventually talk about it because she can see that I'm calm, and then she'll eventually calm down and we'll talk about it. And that's the beauty of just being aware. I'm aware of where I'm at. I'm aware that I'm angry. Before, I wasn't aware that I was angry. I was just angry. So me.
Do you know what, brother? Sorry, I love that, because the amount of times I get caught up, then all of a sudden I'm just like, what's the point? And then that's it, it's gone. And I'm like, all that thinking for that, really? Was it worth it?
Yep.
And then it's just gone.
Yeah, to be honest, my worst one, which I kind of laugh at myself for today, and I still do it sometimes, and then I catch myself doing it, and I just think, you're an idiot. It's that, you know, after you have like a little argument or a heated conversation, and then you go home and you're like, oh, I should have said that as well. That would have got him. Oh, I should have said that. Oh, why did you say that? You sound like an idiot. Oh, you should have said that and that. And then he would have felt like an idiot. Oh, and then it's like, I'm having the whole argument with myself in my head right here again, and I'm feeling all upset and stuff. And then it's just me here sitting here. And I feel so silly after doing things like that, because I did that. Oh, I could have done that for 2 days straight. Like, oh, when I see them again, I'm going to say this and that. And, no, I don't say it then. And when they say this, say that. And all of that is just irrelevant.
Bro, what you just said there is in the book I'm writing on the chapter of realities. Exactly what you just said about you have the argument with yourself about what they've just said. Oh, and they're going to say that if I say this. And it's crazy because you get so caught up with it.
100.
Do you know
I'm playing the film out.
And you know what I call that when I do that? I do that all the time. Yeah, I call that talking myself down. Because when I'm doing it and I'm in it and I say, what are you doing, you idiot? I'm like, no, but you still should have said that. And you still, no, but you don't need to say that. Yeah, but you could have said that. Oh, yeah, no, I should have said that though. Right? And I started slowly just wean off it. And then I'm just like, oh, it's not even relevant. Just forget it. But when I first realize I'm doing it, I don't want to let it go. Yeah. I still want to hold on to it and finish the conversation. But because I can see what it is, it takes time. And I eventually talk myself down.
My girlfriend and I have this thing because if you travel with people or you're, hanging out on holidays or something, we have this thing when we're there and we see that we're there, we look at each other and we go, what the hell? And then it's over. It's just
oh, you can kind of just see where you just dragged yourself all the way down in the mud. You're like, oh, now I'm all muddy. Like, why did we have to do that? And it's just beautiful seeing the irrelevance of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like building scaffolding to get over a wall when the gate's open. Do you know what I mean? You spend all this time building scaffolding just to get all around and over the gate and still climb down, but the gate's open. So when you're on the other side after building all that scaffolding, you realize, I could have just went through the gate. Kind of would have been easy and simpler. Then you're like, next time, let me go through the gate.
But do you know what? For me, I'm never upset that I see the gate. I always chuckle to myself. Oh, there was a gate. Oh, you idiot. Yeah. It's okay. There was another option. And then moving forward, maybe there'll be another one there again. I think it's lovely what you're saying about, see, like, each moment we go into, we draw for this past thinking so quickly, and it's so relevant to us. But even though a situation might look the same, every single situation is different. So no matter what you're bringing back, ain't going to be bespoke to that moment. The only thing really bespoke to that moment is you in the present. Because it's like a key what fits. That's the only key what fits, you being present. You draw in another key to like a counterfeit key. And it always leads down that counterfeit road. So staying present. And I loved what you said, Omar. I did not plan to be here right now in pink shirt doing this talk. None of it. I don't plan none of it. But yeah, apparently this is where I am. And if I would have bullet point and planned it out, it wouldn't be this. And if it would have been this, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd probably be doing something else. Because the first time it didn't look like it was looking like this, I would have tried to make it look like this. And then everything's lost from that, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, the time traveling thing, how we seamlessly do it, just in and out, sometimes relevantly, but a lot of the time, for me, I've seen that I've just used it to class myself as who I am. Because the more often I do it, then I think I'm that person. And then I think I found a shortcut, but I always have to run back to the past and get that past thinking and bring it forward. But it happens quicker. Because like you said, when you say, ask someone what just happened, that's what happened, man. That's for me. That's what I do. Really? Oh yeah, I did actually run back, get that and bring it forward. And something you said, baby, and I didn't even think of it like that. As when I got the job with Beyond Recovery when I was away, I got the red band job. And when Jacqueline said, yeah, you got the job, we're going to have to interview you tomorrow with another lady. And I think I told this story before, but I haven't seen it from this angle. So the night before, I'm there, and there's another woman who's not with Beyond Recovery that she just said, yeah, just tell her why you want the job and everything will be all right. The night before, I'm thinking, jumped on the bus, straight to the past thinking, right, I've got an interview tomorrow. What do I need? Right? I need a certain set of lies. I need a certain set of charm. I need a certain set of wangling. I need a certain set of dip. All of what I would usually use to get a job, which was not above board. And it was all, yeah, how do I get the better? All thinking. And I realized I come on their radar by just showing up as me. So all of these things what I'm collecting, say, right, I need to bring this to the interview. I don't need none of it. I just need me, because that's what they noticed. So all of that past thinking, I just dropped it and left it, showed up at the interview the next day and just showed up as me and got the job. And I see that now as proper time travel. Because I had everything under my arms, right? I need this, I need that. Oh shit, you dropped the lies. Right, pick up the lies. Oh, the fake CV, pick up the fake CV. Yeah, all of it. But I realized I didn't need it because I didn't use none of that to get in that position. And that is something and when I saw that, I dropped everything and just showed up as me. Brave, showed up as me. And just like today, showed up as me. And yeah, it's just that feeling, and keep on following that feeling, no matter what the setting, whether it be prison, whether it be Goodwill Solutions in Northampton, whether it be us on the other side of prison, us on a VIP, doesn't matter where, that feeling and that it comes from me. So the environment doesn't really matter. And it's just seeing it and feeling it, expanding on it by feeding it and doing what I see to be true for myself, because that's what makes me happy.
You know what? I really love the fact that what you said about, and it's so true for me. Like when you're present, it's like you can't really bring nothing back from the past to because it doesn't fit right there. It doesn't fit right there in your present. You know what I mean? You're gonna try and make it fit and whatever, but to deal with that presently, would you say that's bespoke? Like I love that because it's true for even for me. Do you know what I mean? I got a friend, and he found out he had a son, and his son was like, I think 6 or 7, and his oldest daughter's like 5 or 6. And he was talking to me, and I could tell his whole thought process. He done everything that Derrick said he did. He ran back to the past and said, what do I think I need to do for him? I need to show him love. I need to talk to him. I need to this. I need to do. And he had it all intellectual. And when he's thinking about it, he's thinking about, oh, so what if he don't respond to me? And what if he don't? And he's just lining himself up. And there was nothing he could have brought from that past that would have helped him in that prison moment, apart from to be present. Because when you're present, what needs to come to you will come to you. Definitely will. Believe me. It definitely will. And after he had the interaction with his son, we conversated for a while, and he said, oh, the first 20 minutes was crazy. He was in his head, he was sweating, and he said he just couldn't be asked to do that anymore. He couldn't be asked to be in his head, be busy, sweat and all that, and like anxiety, and he said he couldn't be asked. He was doing it for 20 minutes. So he said he just forgot about it, and he just said he just gave up, he didn't care. And he said after that, him and his son had a beautiful day for like 3 hours. I was in the park playing, and he introduced them to the brothers and sisters, and they're all playing, and he said it was beautiful. But as soon as he hopped out of his head, and he just said, you know what, I can't be asked to think. I can't be asked to think. And me, I call that lazy. Like I say to people now, I'm too lazy to think. I'm too lazy to create a whole story about why this person doesn't like me or does like me or da da da. And I just don't do it anymore like that. Hey, Claire.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. And thank you to Pete for inviting me here today. And I'm really new to all this, literally a week. Like Pete's podcast, he was on a podcast recently, and he moved me so much. And this is all brand new, and it's my new addiction. Hey, let's just have a new one.
Oh, welcome, Claire. Welcome.
Thank you. And you know, I have come across a lot of what I'm reading before, but I was too muddled with addictions and other things to really take it in. And now I think because I'm in a good place, healthy wise, I'm starting to hear it for the first time properly, you know. So that's my joke. So I have no deep stuff to share like you, but I wanted to ask you, because you know, I'm a mum of two. I've got a full-time job. I'm really busy, and my job is very much planning for the future. I'm a PA, so I'm planning for my boss's future all the time, planning for my kids' future all the time. It's just always future, you know. And how do you do that and be present at the same time? You know, how do I help my son do his GCSEs without getting anxious about it all the time? Because you've got to think in the future. You have got to plan, but but there's the trying to stay present in that moment as well. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm nervous, so I'm falling over my words. But do you get my
100%.
question?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying with that. And for me, before I even knew this understanding of the principles, just to bring around educating your children, I remember torrid memories of being educated. And I'm talking about a little child, being torrid memories of being educated by my mum, being taught to read and getting words wrong and getting chastised for it. And lo and behold, the cycles come around and I've got a little girl and I'm teaching her to read and she's getting words wrong that she said two pages earlier right, and I'm getting upset. And I sort of saw myself turning to my mum, literally, and I saw the fear in my daughter's eyes. And I was like, no, this ain't about this. And I must have said to her, do you know what? Whenever we're doing lessons and it doesn't become fun anymore, you need to tell me. And this was way before I even understood the principles. I said, you need to tell me because this is meant to be fun. Because I remember when I was little, I used to think, why doesn't my mum know that I'm little and I don't know this word? And why is she getting angry at me? But I found myself doing exactly the same thing. But then because I didn't want to be that, I knew how my daughter must have been feeling because I used to feel like that. I sort of addressed that, but moving forward as to what you said, without teaching them how it's the same thing, something what I've learned or something that I know isn't going to fit in the time where they're with me. If I can see what she's struggling with and see how that can be done in that moment, then that is where I take all my information from. I don't need to think, because I used to think when my first daughter came, she missed one day at school, I thought I'd messed up her whole life. I thought her life was ruined. She missed a day at school, and but then I took a step back and thought, no, but it was real to me at that time. So at times when I'm the GCSEs now and whatever they're doing, and I just sort of, I don't really pressure them. Like I just said, you know what, stay with you, do what you're doing. Is it hard? You can concentrate. Do you need any help with anything? And take it step by step in the moment without thinking, oh, you didn't do that thing you right, so now you're going to fail your GCSEs. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to, because I sort of see their whole life doesn't rest on this one English exam, or their life doesn't rest on this whole maths exam. So from I can step back and see it like that, I sort of show up and they sort of feel that their whole life doesn't rest on this maths exam. And that sort of does something for them. And they have to do the intellectual part anyway, because yeah, it takes the intellect to learn that, but the intelligence behind it, to know that it's a long haul, and what I can see now is blinkered, and everybody feeds into these things are so important because the rest of their life, we all know, as adults, we know that's not true, but we still feed into it. But just let them know their life is long and rangy. So just this one exam is not it's not going to make a difference that you can go down a pub, but just be in the present and do as best you can. And as long as I'm not pressuring you to thingy, then I don't know if that's answered your question or.
No, but it does, and I'm there, you know. It's more, yeah, I get you, and thank you for sharing that. I really do. And
so if I could just add,
go on.
With the timetable thing for your boss being a PA, yeah, you've got to do your plan. You can't just say, no, throw it out the window. We're just going to take a walk and see whatever comes to us. We know that doesn't happen in the real world, but you can plan it like that. But then when you're actually in that moment, there's always wiggle room. There's always wiggle room. You could plan it to happen like this. You show up, everybody's looking like it doesn't really want to go that way. Where we want to say, no, the plan was this, and get stressed because it was meant to be this. Just float with what nature, how the universe showed things up to you. You can make a provision for it, but however it shows up in the moment, there's always wiggle room. There's always wiggle room.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I'm definitely less stressed than I used to be. You know, you just flex with it, you know. So that's a good thing. But it's just I just find the busyness, you know, I'm always sort of got to be 3 steps ahead. You know, Johnny's got football on Wednesday, so I need to do the dinner before then. And then Christina's got dancing that day, so I need to do that. I need to do that. Oh, and then I might forget that, and then I get anxious, you know. And it's just trying to match the busyness of life with being chill, man. You know, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Quickly.
And I guess that the less busy your mind is, the more clarity you have. So you don't have to get so anxious about things. Yeah.
In a moment of clarity, well, for me, I've realized that it's my mind that's busy. The activities I'm actually thinking that's making me busy ain't really making me busy. It's my mind that's busy. So you calm that down, and the situation doesn't have to change. The tasks are still there, but somehow you just go through it and it's not busy anymore. But that starts with just seeing that it's your mind that's busy and not the physical activities. And just by seeing it, creates a difference. Nothing to do after that.
I get you. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's happening, Joe?
Hey, guys. Yeah, what I want to ask your opinion on is, what do you think of, like, with our past, that it actually had to happen the way it did, and we had to do the things we did to get where we are at this time, but also that it's only the kind of personal mind or the ego that thinks it could have done things different. But if we were acting out of a level of consciousness, then that it wasn't actually possible, we could have done things differently.
That's a tough one, but I agree. I feel like whatever happens. I feel like it's just what you learn from them is the important thing. And the reason why this time travel is beautiful is because we can learn infinite stuff from one situation. You know, you can look at a situation now and in 5 years and in 10 years and in 15 years and see it all differently. So I feel like it's meant to happen however it happens, whether you choose to follow your wisdom or to follow your thoughts or to whatever happens is going to happen. It just depends on how you see it. Because even with my past, I feel like everything I've seen has led me to this moment. It's led me to want to help people, to want to be there for people, to literally enjoy my life. And that's what I was going to say to Claire as well. Like, I felt like I found a little secret, which is enjoy life, enjoy every single day of life. Do you know? Because we will plan for the future, and then plan for the future, and then plan for the future, and then plan more for the future. And now we're planning our funeral. Now it's like, whoa, when did I have fun? We have to have fun with it as well. We can't let those plans stick. And that's the same with like our past, Joe. We can't let that stick or think, is it meant to happen? It happened. We know it happened, but it only exists here. It only exists here. And whatever you want to take from it or do from it exists here as well. That's where the learning exists. That's where the feelings will come from. That's where everything exists in that. in that mind space.
I love what you just said there, bruv, because I never had fun before until now. Never. Don't know about you, Dale, but life wasn't fun at all. It was horrible. But I did have to go through my past to get me to where I am now speaking to you guys, because I believe in my heart I was saved to go out and help others, and save others. So that was my path, and this is my path now. So, yeah.
I love that question, Joe. I truly believe the same thing what Omar said, and I think that's what you were saying as well, that like my path, if I tell you my thinking from my past before was in the lifestyle I had, make enough money, get a business, wrap the biggest blanket around my past and just throw it in the river and put it with some lead weights with it, and nobody hears about my past again. Yeah, I'm just this guy that's got this business running, that's successful, and that's it. But now I see that all of my past is my strength, and it makes me who I am here now, showing up. And without it, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I'll be doing some other thing that was meant to be for me to happen. But because of my choices and because of my thinking, it's got me here talking. I don't regret none of it. And I regret obviously the choices, but me being here now, I was just meant to be here. And when I said that to the mayor today, that's exactly what she said. She said, your past is nothing what you should shy away from. That is, you need to bring that forward. It doesn't make you who you are right now, but a piece of that is with you right now to show who you are right now, if that makes sense. And I think my past, everyone's past, doesn't make them who they are right now, but it brings them to where they are right now. I heard this thing a long time ago, and I thought, wow, and it's every single situation that we're ever in, every action you've ever done in your life, how major or minor, has led you to this moment right now. Everything, one path, and it's all been part in moments. But just to hear now, we've got the choice to see whatever direction that goes in. Sometimes we think that choice is limited and there's only one option, but there's always more than one option. And like you said, Omar, the time traveling, don't let your past make the decisions on what that option's going to be. That option's available to you to think in the moment. And like you said, you be present, something will always come. And I would have said that with buying sweets and left it at that. But I've actually run my life by that decision and just being here now in front of you, through following that feeling and just showing up as me. So, yeah, I think that's, you got anything to say on my foot?
To be honest, I was going to end it with a nice one of my stories for Claire. I know everybody's heard my boring stories already, but I'm going to, because Claire.
Thank you.
Never boring, Omar, never boring. And I think I've heard them more than most.
So this one, right? There was a guy and he worked construction and he had a long day. And at the end of his day, he saw some sawdust and he was like, wow, like, I could use that at home. So he put all the sawdust in a box, and the box was a little bit heavy, so he put it in a wheelbarrow. So he's wheeling this wheelbarrow at the end of the day, and security stops him. Wait, he says, what's in the box? He says, it's just sawdust. And the security guard is like, that's weird. Who takes sawdust? And he's like, let me see. Obviously, he thinks he's stealing it. Let me see. So he opens the box and it's just sawdust. So the security guard's like, oh, that's right. Lets him go. So the guy does this the next day, third day, fourth day. And on the fifth day, he does the same thing. He packs up his sawdust, puts it in a box, puts it in the wheelbarrow, and he's wheeling through security. And security man's like, what's in the box? And he said, it's just sawdust. And he goes, let me see. So he shows him it's still sawdust. And the security said to him, I've got this funny suspicion that you're stealing something. And the guy's like, no, I wouldn't steal. And security said, you know what? Fair play. If you tell me what you're stealing, I promise you I won't tell nobody. And the guy said, promise? And the security said, promise. And he said, come. And he said, I'm stealing wheelbarrows. Sorry. So
As he's had 5 wheelbarrows.
So he's probably got 4 or 5 wheelbarrows. And the moral of the story is we focus on something that we think is relevant. And then sometimes we dismiss the bigger picture.
That's brilliant. That's
So
really
even-
good.
I
I love that.
Especially. So I wanted you to see that if you focus too hard on this thing and that thing and making everything perfect, you're just going to miss spending, do you know what I mean? You're just going to miss something in the bigger picture.
Mhm.
So you can just relax and be comfortable that your wisdom will take care of everything. But your journey here, I'm glad it starts. Do you know what I mean? You've started it and you're
Thank
with
you.
us. You're here.
I tell you, my boss is going to be so annoyed with me next week when I haven't done anything.
Everything out the window.
It's all right, boss. I'm in the present.
Oh, guys,
God.
we're
I'm
gonna love.
joking. I'm joking.
We're gonna love it, yeah.
Yeah, that was a beautiful session. Go on,
Yeah.
Omar. Go on.
Thank
I love
you.
you guys. Thank you to all, and thank you, Derrick, for hosting, man.
Right then, guys. Yep. We'll see you all next month. I think it's the 15th
Okay.
of next month. Okay, then. Bye.
Easy.
Thanks, guys. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
See you.